All right. I did a previous video regarding Darth Vader's suit as to the explanations as to why he never upgraded, which doesn't go in line with the plot of the films. I mean, I'm not including the fucking Disney trailer. I'm including the first six films. So I'll just let y'all know that. Anyways, today we're talking about Darth Vader's iconic voice, which people love so much. The description for the original short will be in the rather this link to the original short will be in the description box. So yeah, Vader's iconic voice, which is dope, man. It sounds great. I always just knew, from watching the films, and that he's just, when he speaks, the mask will make his voice sound like that, just so he can be heard in the mask when he speaks. Otherwise, he's gonna sound like this, all muffled. He don't want to sound like this. This sounds weird, doesn't it? So there's a vocal box built in, so his voice can be heard. Unfortunately, it doesn't record his actual vocals on how he sounds when he speaks. That was like the downside of the technology that was implemented in his suit. That's what I thought, but according to this, they took it to a whole nother level, which made absolutely no sense regarding the plot. And I'm gonna prove that once I show this, after I show this video, after I show this short here. Let's get on with it.
Have you ever wondered where Darth Vader's iconic breathing comes from, or why his voice changed? After his near-fatal death on Mustafar, Darth Vader had his body replaced with mechanics in order to keep him alive. Due to his burning robes and flesh, his lungs and vocal cords were heavily damaged and required the help of breathing tubes and a pressurizer in his helmet to make breathing easier. The medical droids also fitted him with an enunciator that allowed Vader to still form sounds and words. This, of course, changed his voice and gave us the iconic ensemble we all know today. Have you ever wondered where Darth Vader's iconic breathing comes from, or why his voice changed?
Okay, some of the parts that explain here make sense. It makes sense. I'm gonna go over it piece by piece.
His near-fatal death on Mustafar, Darth Vader had his body replaced with mechanics in order to keep him alive. Due to his burning robes and flesh, his lungs and vocal cords were heavily damaged and required...
I don't agree with that. His vocal cords are heavily damaged. It doesn't match up with what we see in the six films. It doesn't, especially the prequel trilogy. It doesn't match up with that. I'm gonna prove it when after he got burned. No, that was in fact that was before he got burned. Okay, well, I was going to mention the fact that he screamed "I hate you" to Obi-Wan, but that was before he was set on fire. Right. Afterwards, okay, I can prove it with this one in episode 6 when he was dying. Okay, he told Luke, "Go, my son, leave me. Go, my son, leave me." He was talking to his son using his own voice. That doesn't sound like somebody who has vocal cord damage. It doesn't. Or I might get well, why did he sound the way he sounded? He was like, his voice was shaky. That's because he was dying. That's why. When he would sound like that, he was dying. His life support system was damaged by Palpatine's electricity before he threw him over that ledge into that what do you call that thing? That generator. I think it's the generator. So yeah, his life support system was damaged. That's why. So even with the mask on, he wasn't gonna survive. He was on borrowed time. And Vader knew it. He was dying. So that's why he spoke the way he spoke, because he was dying. Because if he was well, he would have been talking like this. Like normal. That's why I disagree that there's some fucking voice box that's... It's in the comments. Somebody in the comment section would further explain this shit. They was talking about how All he has to do is think on what he wants to say, and the voice box will actually form it into words or some shit. I was like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? He's actually speaking. It's just the voice box makes his voice sound different. I mean, what? This makes no sense regarding the films. Just like I said, that's like one example I could bring. I was going to bring about when he was on Mustafar, but that's before he got burned. So I can't use that as an argument against this theory here, or this explanation as why his voice is different. But I can use it. Use the episode 6 when he was dying. I can use that.
To help with breathing tubes and a pressurizer in his helmet to make breathing easier. The medical droids.
Yeah, pressurizer in his helmet makes breathing easier. Yeah, that's what the. That's not him breathing. I just want to make this clear. I know there was some people that actually was believing that's him breathing. No, that is the air supply in his suit that's supplying him air and that's keeping him alive. Because he needs air to be in that suit anyway. Even if you're 100% healthy, you're going to suffocate in the goddamn suit. You know what I'm saying? So you need some type of air pumping in that motherfucker. As far as if his lungs, that's because his lungs were fucked up. That's debatable. I can buy that. You know, because like I said, even if you were 100% healthy and you were put into that suit, you're gonna still need an air supply to supply you air, regardless if your lungs are fucked up or not. So let's go on with this.
Also fitted him with an enunciator that allowed Vader to still form sounds and words. This, of course, changed his voice and gave us the iconic ensemble we all know today. Have you ever wondered where Darth...
Okay, now we're going to go into the comment section, which really brought on this video here. I mean, these people just believe in anything. They don't, that's like, I wonder, do they even watch the movies or they just look at it? Because I know damn well I watch them. I don't just look at the Star Wars films. What the fuck? Yeah, Anakin was awake the entire search. You felt everything. Yep, that was seen in the film, episode 3. He was, yep, And I also heard that this is also some extra explanation as to fill in the gaps. That Palpatine purposely said no sedatives, don't give him anything that numbs him. I want him to feel pain. I disagree. I don't think so. I mean, but it is what it is, you know. I mean, but yeah, let me see. Near fatal death sounds like the guy. And I say, did you die? Unfortunately, yes, but I survived. Oh. Here it is. This is what I was talking about on my last video about this. It said, also the Emperor made his suit as clunky and painful as possible, supposedly ensuring that he be essentially crippled and in agony all the time. This was a punishment for his failure, as well as an attempt to force him to overcome his injuries. Wait, which one is it? It can't be both. As the pain and frustration help feed Darth Vader's connection to the dark side, which is insane. And I'm going to add something else that I didn't mention in the last video when I was talking about why they need to upgrade his suit. Yeah, I'm going on a tangent. That's what I do. I didn't add this because I didn't think about it. Now, okay, they say that Vader being in pain will feed his connection to the dark side, which is a benefit, obviously. So Sith and pain go hand in hand. The question is this: hasn't Palpatine participated in any exercise that gave him pain so he can strengthen his connection to the dark side? Wouldn't all Sith be self-injuring themselves so they can have their connection? Why is it just Vader but not Palpatine doing it? Did Pelagius do it? Did his master do it? Did the other Siths do it? Did they inflict pain on themselves so they can have more of a connection with the dark side? I want to know. If not, that further drives home the point that this explanation makes no sense. As that he made his suit purposely that he can be in agony and shit. Yeah, so there was one comment thread that I want to touch on. George Lucas said, "Yeah, it looks so cool," so we went with it. It was more than that. George Lucas made a story surrounding the suit. Yeah, they don't see the issue that Palpatine made his suit painful. They think it makes sense. It makes sense to them to a degree to uphold Vader's anger. Huh. He already had that issue before he was Christian Vader. It all adds depth to the characters. Now it adds stupidity to the characters to me. See, this person was right. That lore was made after the original movies. It was. It was made up. Like I said, I get why lore exists outside the films. You know, to further explain what happened to the characters after the films, why this character is going through this, why this happened. You know, I get it. But if something doesn't make sense, if explanation doesn't make sense, I'm going to call it out. I'm just going to call it out. Because I'm thinking, like I said, if Vader was going through pain to strengthen his connection with the dark side, Sidious should have went through it as well. That's what I'm saying. There wasn't supposed to be a Star Wars trilogy in the first place. That's true. It wasn't. There was somebody made a comment about his voice box and shit that I want to find. Lucas had always planned for Vader to have been injured by lava, though. Yeah, that's true. I don't know when he came up with the story. I think it was episode 5, maybe, that he was burned. Yeah, he had that idea since the 80s, man. I mean, I think before episode 6 was completed, he had that idea that Vader was as to how he came into the suit. Yeah, I remember him saying that. I thought that was interesting. So basically, he's a walking iron lung. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Yes, hell, walking iron lung with immense power that strikes fear into the galaxy. Yes. Yeah, he would have had 10 times more of the power if he had all his limbs. Even Palpatine wouldn't be able to stop him. Yeah, I want to find this fucking comment cause like I said, this comment really brought on me doing this video. Cause it just makes zero. It just shows you people attention spans are amazing. They don't question anything. Like it's like how does that make sense? James Earl Jones voice box. It's oh man, you got me. The James Earl Jones voice box. Thanks, Master. I thought that shit was funny. Oh shit. It's probably under this thread here. No. They got jokes in that thread. Yeah, James Earl Jones was the original voice for Darth Vader. They making fun of the fact that the narrator said near fatal death. They making fun of him saying that. Okay, here it is. I didn't even know this was a post. I didn't know. I thought it was a comment within a thread, but it's not. This is a comment that was posted. I want to see if anybody can make sense of this, man. Also, when we see Vader in Revenge of the Sith, which is episode 3, the weird noises he makes before going, no, is actually his suit not being able to process his crying. What are you talking about? He said no. Now, let me talk about that for a second. When Anakin said, what made it tragic to me was that Anakin was unable to hear his own voice saying, screaming no inside the suit. Instead, he heard no. That made it 10 times more tragic when he found out that Padme died. That's what I saw when I was watching the end of episode 3. I was like, that's too bad he can't hear his own voice saying no. He knows he's saying it, but he's like, no. It's the suit saying it, it's the the vocals got to fucking say it instead because he's in the suit. The walking iron lung, basically. Okay, let me read some of these comments here. They say it was his suit. I guess mistranslating it. These questions said they say it was his suit mistranslating it, but I think other loose material has noted that in reality, Vader inside the helmet is speaking at a volume no louder than a whisper. Huh. So that means that when he did that, he was actually quiet as fuck. Absolutely makes no sense. It goes on to say, due to the internal damage, vocal cords, lungs, even stomach. So how he was able to speak and whether the suit had to translate it for him is up for debate. As at the end of episode 6, he speaks. That's what at an audible volume just fine. It could be because before this, it could be, he's gonna try to explain it now. It could be because before the back to treatments that Rogue One mentions about, he's not anywhere near the process of heal yet. So he's saying in time they had some new way to heal his vocal cords. So by episode 6, he's able to speak more clearly than he was in episode 3. I'm sorry, the films did not support that explanation at all. It just does not. And from what I'm seeing, I'm going by what I see. He was saying no in the suit, probably screaming it, but the vocals came out as no. Plain and simple. That's what we all see. And that is what was going on. This explanation makes no sense at all. How the fuck was he quiet as fuck? And the suit says, no, that's ridiculous. Why? You just heard that the love of your life has passed away. Why would you be fucking quiet? And then remember this? You remember that's how the scene was? You seen the scene? He like busts out of the restraints. He takes a few steps. Then he goes, before he said no, he was like, killing the droids and shit. He was mad. He was fucking in turmoil. Then he goes, no. And when he said no, he like screams at the heavens like, how could you do this to me? Fuck you, fate. How was he quiet with that gesture? As he was saying, no, that makes no sense. It just doesn't. Which would explain, this is another comment, which would explain why he probably, this is probably in I think territory, which would probably need some form of translation active. An AI voice program to speak for him in the early stages until his vocals at the least. Nope, I don't believe it. There was no AI voice speaking for him, translating what he's thinking and putting into words. No fucking no. That makes zero fucking sense. The story does not support it at all. And Rogue One is what, from Disney? Granted, that is one of the favorite Disney films from critics. But I'm just saying, this is Disney we're talking about here. Disney has been fucking up Star Wars since episode 7, and they continue to fuck it up to this day. This other person says, and I thought that scene couldn't get any sadder. Another one says, in my opinion, he was actually dry, reaching on the verge of being sick from the news. My thing is, why would you be quiet? You just heard that your love of your life has died and you killed her. That's what he said. It seems like in your anger, you killed her. It's like, holy shit, not only is she died, but it's my fault. Why would you be quiet about that? And then the way he ripped out his restraints, took a few steps, and he goes, Rah! He was grunting like he was mad. And he says, no. It's like, no way he was fucking quiet. No way. Said, most true, mate. That suit circuitry, can't fucking read for shit. The suit circuitry system got an overwhelming boost of emotional energy. Lord Vader had to release some of the anguish through the force, pushing Palpatine against the wall behind him. I laughed my ass off at the page. Oh, there must be an EU explanation. That's ridiculous. Palpatine wasn't pushed against the fucking wall. He was just standing there. This person says, I thought it's because he's disgusted by himself, what he has done and what he has become. Yeah, that's not necessarily was true. No, he was thinking about the death of Padme. He just heard the death of his wife. And plus she was pregnant. He wasn't thinking about what he's become, not at that moment. He was like, fuck, my baby's gone. The love of my life is gone. That's the reason why I became Vader. I believed in the fucking bring her back to life bullshit that Palpatine fed me. You know? Now she's gone. He has no purpose anymore, basically. But to be Palpatine's bitch. He said, wait, what? No, mate. It was because his heart... No, it's because he felt his heart break for the last time. Yeah, that's a better explanation. That makes sense. In the Revenge of the Sith novelization and the story arc comments of Lord Vader gives clear explanation that the news of Padme, I'm about to say Palpatine, the news of Padme was more painful than the excruciating pain of his reconstruction surgery. Yeah, it would be. It would be. Now I can buy that he was still healing at this point because he just got from surgery. That eventually the pain would subside and all that shit. I get it. He was healing at this point. He was still in physical pain. I can believe that. But okay, let's move on here. Yes, that's what I meant. He realized that trying to avoid her death led to it. One question: are the novelizations and comics official, or did anybody wrote a fiction to it? Is there official? This person says that is undoubtedly the most pedantically overthought theory behind Star Wars trope I think I've heard in my almost 40 years on this planet. Damn. Yeah, it is overly thinked, right? I guess it would be cool if it were true, but it honestly just sounds like committee thinking on why one of the lamest moments in all of Star Wars history was actually pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Star Wars fan as the next guy, but even I know that moment just shouldn't have ever happened. And no amount of theorizing will ever make it cool. Lol. I thought that was a great moment. It's amazing to me that people didn't like it. and they make fun of it. It's like, no, that was Anakin was broken, man. Rather, Vader was broken at that point. That's why I said not confirmed. Yeah, because it wasn't written by George Lucas. These explanations. That's the thing with half of Star Wars lore. It's not confirmed. And some is just fiction written by fans. Yes, some of the fiction written by fans are good to listen because it makes sense with what we see in the 6 films. It adds on what we already seen, which makes sense. I don't got a problem with all fan fiction or explanation. Like Palpatine's background, how he became a Sith. That's pretty good shit. That's some great shit. What can I say? This one person says, even if it's not confirmed or canon, I leave things like this that are open to interpretation. Open to interpretation. Why you got to put it twice, man? You should think you made your point. Person, exactly. And this is why I don't like all this theories. The books and comics, they're killing the fascination, imagination, and explain everything to death. Yeah, some of the theories does ruin Star Wars for me. Like it just makes it really sound stupid. It makes the characters look bad. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah. So yeah, this theory here does not line up with the with the films, especially Episode 6. It doesn't line up with it. This backed up shit that they talk about to explain why he's able to speak in Episode 6 is I disagree with that. I just don't see that. I always felt, and I still feel it now, that his vocals are fine. It was a voice box built in, so you can hear him. That's all it was, through the suit, so he won't sound like this, all muffled. So he won't sound like that. So it is what it is, man. I mean, you can disagree with me if you like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Vader's a truly an iconic character, man. He's among my favorite villains of all time. He's a very tragic villain as well. Not only that, Anakin Skywalker is among the most foolish characters ever created, if you ask me. And I'm a fan of Anakin Skywalker. So I just call it down the middle like it is. I just do. I'm not gonna hold it back because I like Anakin. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So that's pretty much it for this. I've talked enough about his iconic breathing. And this person says, fun fact, there's also an episode in Clone Wars where Anakin hooked up to a respirator and you hear Darth Vader's breathing. Oh, that's pretty cool. I never watched the Clone Wars animated series. That's why I said, no way, which episode? I wouldn't know either. Before I go, let me share this here. This is another one that I ran across. I'm glad I scrolled down. This person says, fun fact. The mumble Vader makes when he realizes Padme is dead is the voice box unable to read sounds of making, sobbing, or crying. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is why I hate some fan theories and explanations. I just talked about this earlier in this vlog here that I'm doing. Oh my God. He was groaning. He was groaning. It didn't sound like a computer. It sounded like a person inside the suit, or the vocals of it, the vocals recording his groaning inside the suit before he says no. Oh my God. Oh man, how can you believe that shit? Oh my God. How can you believe that there was a voice box unable to read sounds of making, sobbing, or crying? So he was crying. Somebody else said he was silent, which also makes no sense. I'm not saying he wasn't crying. I'm just saying the grumble. It wasn't even a mumble, it was a grumble. It was not even mumbling. It was a groan. It was him groaning. He was in turmoil about his wife's death. There was no fucking mumble. If you watch the scene and listen to it closely, that's him grumbling. Or groaning, for that matter. It's like, holy shit. One person says nope. One person says, I think you just have an imagination. Exactly. Person says nope, that's the reason. He said, my guy has been confirmed for years. What? Wow, this y'all something else believing in that garbage. The person I didn't see, he says, I didn't see that part in the movie where they confirmed this. Exactly. No, it's not the fact that they didn't confirm it. It just doesn't add up to the film. It doesn't add up to what we see in the film. That's the thing. It's probably an episode 3 novelization, fills in a lot of details that would straight up be impossible to put into a reasonably length film without. I don't think so. I don't think Lucas had any fucking hand in that shit. He claimed this with conviction, but it's not a true thing. Lamau. He deserves to be made fun of, this person. He deserves it. That's a dumb explanation. Really fucking dumb. And he gonna put fun fact. No, it's a fun phony. Fun garbage. Yeah, this is a fun fact here. The breathing sound was recorded from a scuba diving kit. That's a fun fact. Now, with that being said, this is why chromosomes sad the fuck out. Peace and love. Good health to you all. And be safe out there. Peace. I'm out.